Namaste. Welcome everyone to this meditation. So we have all probably meditated thousands of times before, but not actually realised that that's what we're doing. So often when we hear about people meditating, it can sound a little bit daunting because we envisage that we have to kind of sit as I'm sitting and clear the mind and we, connect to the universe. But actually it's not that magical. Really, all we're trying to do is to focus our attention. So we may have previously meditated when we lose ourselves, when we're looking at a sunset, or maybe when we're immersed in a book, or when we're lost on the dance floor. All of those, that feeling of being completely immersed and completely focused in that moment is essentially what we're trying to achieve with our meditation. But often our thoughts drag us away in different directions and we get distracted, and we can end up meditating in sorts on those thoughts and maybe those anxieties or those fears. And really that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change the relationship that we have with our thoughts. So instead of when we get a thought that pops into our head, instead of us following that thought and getting distracted, instead we're going to train our mind to notice that that's what's happened and that we've become distracted, and instead make the choice to shift our awareness back to our breath. In this case, that's what we're going to use as our anchor. So there's lots of different styles of meditation. There's mindfulness. We can use mantras, which is kind of a saying or an affirmation that we can repeat over and over again, or we can use visualizations. Everyone will prefer a different style, so don't worry if today's session doesn't feel right for you. I'm going to vary each week so we can get a little bit of a sample as to different styles, and you can find one that suits you. And as with everything, it will come with practice. So don't worry again if the mind feels really active today. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And some days it's easier than others. So just remember, there's nothing to achieve here today. We're not trying to clear the mind. Instead, we're just trying to make that connection with the body and with the breath. So we will make a start. So I'm comfortably seated on the floor just because this is comfortable for me, but for many people this may not feel that accessible. So please do feel free to sit into a chair or to even lie down. The most important thing is that you're comfortable and that you can find a comfortable seat. So just take a moment to wriggle around. If you are on the floor like me, pop your hips up onto a cushion or whatever you've got close by, so your hips are a little bit higher than the knees, and that just makes it a little bit more comfortable for the legs. I'm just gonna turn my computer around so I can see what time it is. So once you're in a nice comfortable position, rest your hands again wherever it feels comfortable. That may be on the legs, or if you're lying on the floor, it may be arms out to the side. So you choose what feels comfortable for you. If you are seated, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, back, and then drop them down. And then let your eyes close. If you're upright, let your chin drop down towards your chest slightly, so you feel the back of the neck lengthen. And then just take these first few moments to let yourself arrive. And we can do that by starting to take long, deep breaths. Gradually just making each breath a little bit longer than the last. So sometimes if we deepen the breath too fast, the body can recoil and tense. So just making each inhale just a little bit longer than the last. And as you breathe, feel as though you can fill all four corners of the lungs. So the style of meditation that we're going to sample today is mindfulness. And mindfulness is essentially just paying attention to what's happening in this moment. And often we use an anchor to keep our mind in the present moment. So for today, we'll use the breath, but you can practice mindfulness anytime, any place. When you go walking, you can practice mindfulness by listening to the birds, anchoring your attention to the sounds of nature. Or if you're doing the washing up, you can use the sensation of the water, of the feeling of the dishes. So it's whatever sensation is most prominent in that moment. So in this moment, we'll use the breath. So notice that as you exhale, there's a natural sinking quality to the out-breath. You feel the body gently descend down into your seat, down into the earth. And with each exhale, feel the body soften and melt. Giving yourself permission to let go. Letting go of any tension, any tightness in the body. Let your legs feel heavy. With each exhale, feel the buttocks, the sit bones sink down into the earth or down into your chair. And let the hands feel heavy. Feel your fingers relax. Maybe the fingers will slightly bend or curl. And your next exhale, let your shoulders drop down away from your ears. Smooth out the skin of the forehead. Feel your eyeballs draw back from the eyelids as if they're sinking back into the skull. Relax the skin of your cheeks. And relax your mouth. Maybe letting the lips part, the teeth part. Relax your tongue. Relax your throat. And relax your belly. And start to notice how the breath moves in and out of the belly. So sometimes when we watch the breath, it can tend to do different things, and it can feel as though the breath is taking its own path. So don't worry if the breath starts to feel a little bit disrupted. Just keep watching the breath and it'll settle back into its own natural rhythm. Notice as you inhale, the belly gently lifts and spreads. And each time you exhale, the belly softly draws back to the spine. And you can even place your hands on your belly to emphasize that sensation of the rise and fall, the expansion and the softness. And if the mind wanders, don't worry. Thoughts are all part of this process. Each time you notice a thought's popped into your head, you have a choice. So often our subconscious just follows the thoughts, and that's when we become distracted, going down that rabbit hole of thinking or worrying or planning. So instead of letting the thoughts distract you and guide your attention, make that choice that you're going to shift your awareness back to your breath, using the anchor of the sensations of the breath in the body to keep the mind in this moment. And just noticing the movements of the breath in the belly. And start to notice that the breath is also moving the chest and the ribs. Maybe a more subtle sensation than the movement of the belly. Notice how the ribs expand from side to side. Each inhale, the lungs filling a little bit of space between each of the ribs. And the exhale, the ribs soften. And then notice that not only do the ribs expand from side to side with each breath, but also from front to back. So as you inhale, feel the chest rise forwards, feel the space between the shoulder blades spread. And as you exhale, feel everything soften back and relax. So just keep watching the gentle movements of the ribs, this time from front to back. And again, each time the mind wanders off, you have a choice. It is a conscious decision. And the more we make this choice, the more habitual it becomes and the easier the choice becomes. So each time the mind wanders, notice that the thought's there. You don't need to push it away or force it out. Don't get frustrated or angry that a thought's there. Instead, acknowledge with kindness, with ease, and make the choice to bring your awareness back to your breath and the movement of the ribs from front to back. And notice that not only do the ribs expand from side to side, from front to back, but the breath fills the lungs from bottom to top. So you feel that expansion from the base of the lungs all the way up to the collarbones. Don't worry if that sensation feels too subtle for you to be able to detect. You can just come back to that sensation of the ribs expanding side to side or front to back. And then for the next few breaths, see if you can detect all those 3 different directions, so side to side, front to back, bottom to top. And then notice the subtle sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the nostrils. You may be able to notice that the breath feels cool as you inhale. And as you exhale, the breath feels warm. Just keep watching the breath as it moves in and out of the nose. Again, if the mind has wandered, notice, acknowledge, and then bring your awareness back to the movements of the breath in the nostrils. So not only does the breath work as an effective anchor to keep our attention into this time, into this place, the breath can also have a strong influence on the body and on the mind. So when we take longer inhales, it tends to stimulate the nervous system. It prepares the body to fight or flight. So our muscles start to react and we become more alert. Whereas when we lengthen our exhales, so when the out breath is longer than the in breath, it has a more soothing, calming effect for the nervous system. So we're just going to experience that calming, soothing effect of the exhale by gradually lengthening the exhale. So take a long, deep inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. And then exhale and just let go of half the breath. So breathe out halfway and then pause. And then exhale, let it all go. Again, inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhale, breathe out halfway. Pause. Exhale, let the rest of the breath go. Inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Fill the whole body with breath. This time just breathe out a third. Pause. Breathe out another third, so 2/3. Pause. Exhale, let the rest of the breath go. Again, long, deep inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhale a third. Pause. Exhale 2/3. Pause. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. This time exhale just a quarter. Pause. Exhale 2/4. Pause. Exhale 3/4. Pause. Exhale, let it all go. Again, long, deep inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhale a quarter. Pause. Exhale 2/4. Pause. Exhale 3/4. Pause. Exhale, let it all go. And just let your breath come back to its own natural rhythm. And then just take 10 long, deep breaths in your own time, at your own rhythm, but count your breaths. So as you inhale, say inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, and so on. Again, if the mind wanders, you can always start your count again. And by counting the breaths, it's just another way of keeping our mind on our breath in this moment. Keep going if you're still counting your breaths. Once you get to 10, bring your palms together. You can keep your eyes closed and just rub your hands together so you're creating a little bit of heat between the palms from the friction. And once you feel some warmth in the hands, bring the heels of the hands, so the perimeter, the periphery of your hands, your palms, just bring the heels of the hands into the eye sockets and let your head rest forward so you feel the heat from the hands. Gently soothe the eyes, soothe the face. And slowly lift your head, open your eyes. Let's take a long deep inhale to stretch. Reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Top of the inhale, palms touch. Exhale, big circle round with the arms. And just rest your hands back down onto your legs. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling. So after meditation, we can often have a feeling of calm and clarity. So when you next need to take a break, close your eyes, take some long deep breaths and just notice the sensations of the breath as they move through the body, and take that few minutes to meditate. And remember, the more you do, the easier it becomes. I hope that you found some moments of calm and peace, and I look forward to seeing you again for some different styles of meditation over the weeks to come. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Take care. See you again soon. Bye guys.